Good morning, broadcasting from the Mermaid Room. Lori's update for January 25th, Friday. Looking at the Red Sea Reefer 525XL. Things are trying to bounce back, even though I still am having a bit of a problem with the Cyphastria receding considerably. Oh yes, my beautiful Cyphastria is looking absolutely horrible. So, probably going to have to do another water change with my favorite salts. All of the other corals basically are doing very well. So, the cactus coral up here, the Pavona, look at those tentacles. Those tentacles are extremely nasty, very mean. For a while I had my beautiful chalice sitting next to that Pavona. He had started touching the one edge, and this coral was like not having any of it and really started dying back on that edge. Now that has completely stopped since I moved it. I am so sorry that I didn't catch that earlier. So a little bit of a heads up for you. If you have one of these crazy corals that has tentacles, this coral is doing very well in my tank. A piece broke off. I did go ahead and glue it to the back. There it is, and it's nothing phases that particular Pavona. So I wish all of my other Pavona would grow as fast as this particular one does, because I've had this one here for going on 2 years. Still looks the same as it did the day I put it in there. So you just never know. I've had made another trip down to one of my favorite fish stores, Southwest Seas. I have 2 stores that I frequent, and Southwest Seas has, it's a small store, but Casey manages it, and Casey is someone that, if you're from Phoenix and had shopped at a previous fish store that's no longer there, Casey was there for a couple years, and so he's a familiar face, and he held this copper band butterfly for me for over a week to make sure he was eating real well, and he's eating so well. Anyhow, I brought him home yesterday. Copper band was fighting the bag as he was being acclimated. He was just not happy in that great, he was in a very large bag with plenty of water, but you could just see he wanted out, and as soon as I let him out, he swam over to the pile of rocks, grabbed something out of the rock work, chomped down on it, and became an instant, what do you call, homie? He's completely at home here, and I think he's going to be fine. So he seems to be searching for something constantly in the rock work, which is great. I'm very pleased that this fish store was so kind enough to make sure that when I brought home my copper band butterfly, he was eating frozen foods, and he does, so he's doing very well. Moving on to the 240-gallon swim tank. Also, a little bit of an update here. The clownfish, who don't really hang out together very much, but laid eggs right under where the male is with his, see those little bluish purple moving little eggs right there. So they've already changed from the bright orange blanket to the little purplish little eggs there. So in all reality, we know that they won't make it in here. They will become sort of a natural food source for whoever's awake when they decide to hatch, or if they even make it to that point. So sad to say they won't survive in the tank, but if all goes well, the fish will continue to lay eggs, and I guess I can say I can continue to have live free food for this swim tank. I've not added anything else in here except for the flame angel that came out of the Red Sea reefer. I can see the bird wrasse. Look at the girth on this fish. This is a beautiful fish. The bird wrasse is sort of aggressive feeder, and he's always looking for something in the rockwork, obviously hence his beak. He can reach down into the rockwork, pulling out small crustaceans or whatnots that he can find, which would never survive in this aquarium because of him. But we keep him pretty well fed. Actually, everyone's very well fed. There's the yellow belly puffer and probably a piece of fish that he found over there. The sailfin tang, obviously also huge girth, came out of the Red Sea reefer, one of the first fish that came over to the big tank, and it obviously needs this kind of space. I was not expecting a sailfin tang would be this big. It's just he's large, and he really outgrew the Red Sea reefer. So he's actually, I think he's bigger than the emperor angelfish who's down there in the mermaid's sleeping quarters down there in the dark. So just a glance at the sump area. Everything's doing well. Really, everything is doing well. I'm not even dosing no pox in here. It stays. I'm just changed the feeding habits to less food and more bulky food for the bigger fish, and just a few small snacks for the smaller fish. But really, when the big fish are eating, they're tearing up food, and so it's becoming smaller bits for the fish anyway, the smaller fish. My life, obviously, with 4 aquariums, I mean, we just looked at 2. This was a 3rd saltwater tank, which is no longer. The Innovative Marine Aquarium was just really a job, I guess we would call it my 3rd job, that I just really could not manage another saltwater aquarium, and I found that aquarium to be difficult to keep and to keep it clean the way I really wanted it to. So I'm going to be cleaning that up and placing it for sale. So maybe I'll have a nice little coffee little area over here, a small table and a couple of chairs. So that's my saltwater area, the freshwater aquarium. This 88, I did another water change the other day. Cuttings of some plants floating in here. I mean to take those down to one of my local shops where they will probably propagate them and resell them. But these plants are doing excellent in my aquariums. I am having babies in here. There are babies swimming in this tank. They're everywhere. I didn't realize I was going to be a mother of I don't even know how many babies. So we'll see what happens with that. A little about Larry, and I think I might have mentioned last year I was remodeling my kitchen. So many people come to my house just to see my kitchen. It's beautiful, and I'm just totally pleased how it came out. If you can believe that this cabinetry came from Home Depot. It's called their Decora brand. It's very well made. I wanted this kitchen to be a bit like a chef's kitchen, and basically it all started with the stove. Or take the dirty towel out of the way there. So yes, I no longer have a microwave in my home. I don't think I've ever told anyone why I've made so many big changes. But Loree was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, back in 2013. And had to take a medication for that, which did not agree with me and continuously made me sick every day. So I ended up, my husband actually prompted the whole idea. We changed our lifestyle and we eat paleo. Just for an example, I make my own almond butter right here. I make almond butter every couple of days. We eat everything is paleo. So if you're not familiar with paleo, Google it. I lost 40 pounds within the first few months. And who can complain? Let's see, Arizona time, a little after 1. It's about lunchtime. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to let everyone know that when things get busy and hectic and you're trying to deal with 4 aquariums, in my life, something had to go. So now I've gone into 11 minutes and I wanted to just say hi and let's see what we can come up with next without adding an aquarium. Oh, one more thing. Oh, yes. The hang on the back refugium was getting so much cyano in here and I just couldn't figure it out. Now, I went ahead and covered the top part with a towel because it was getting, daylight from the aquarium lighting was casting into the refugium. Even though it's got a blackout wall on the one side, it still was getting that, reflective light down into the refugium. Refugium's dark right now, but that has solved my cyano problem in the refugium. So, everything going well. Thank you for stopping by. Happy Friday.